What's up, YouTube? It's the one and only Legend of Winning, aka Low, and in today's video, we're going to talk about the man, the myth, the legend, Kobe Bean Bryant, who's a Hall of Famer, my favorite player, and just a few weeks ago was named one of the top 75 greatest players of all time. Now, to be fair, Kobe Bryant is a very polarizing player, and with that stance, there's a lot of criticism that also follows his greatness, most of which I do agree with and I do believe is valid. However, there is one piece of criticism that I never thoroughly understood. The concept of Kobe Bryant is inefficient.
Kobe was efficient, bro.
Kobe was efficient, but at the same time, he
was not that efficient.
Kobe is not efficient at all.
Very inefficient.
Oh, he was inefficient.
Now, the reason why this statement always leaves me
oh man
is because when I was watching Kobe Bryant, it never felt like he was inefficient. It felt like he was dominant, producing in meaningful moments, one of the greatest scorers I've ever seen in my life, and of course there were the occasional games that certainly are a blemish on his career, and please don't spend too much time on the last 3 years of his career because I'm definitely not going to try to defend it, but as a whole, I just don't understand how 19 years of a career as great as Kobe Bryant can be so synonymous with the term inefficient.
That's a good point, because like what he said, whenever I watch Kobe, I wasn't like, yo, why the fuck does he keep missing? Like, god damn. I was always watching it like, yo, this motherfucker can like single-handedly beat my team. Like, I don't know why people overthink that when it comes to Kobe, but it is what it is.
I cannot stand when here I am, the same guy that says we don't take shit seriously, for somehow all of you to miss this casual, like no shit Sherlock level of a take. Like, we all watched Kobe Bryant single-handedly mindfuck the Magic in 2009. We all saw Kobe Bryant, even in low-scoring games, damn near single-handedly say, Boston, it's me. It's me, and that's tough. We've even seen it for those that swore they watched it. I know you didn't, but for those that swore they watched it, you've seen him. Yes, you've seen him airball a couple times with Shaq, but you've also seen him fucking solo squad. Like, bro, he's Kobe Bean Bryant. You seen him solo squad in overtime is what I meant to say. Arguably greatest scorer of all time, but he was inefficient.
It's not even with Kobe, because I'll bring it to another person like Russell Westbrook, his MVP season. He's gotten a lot of criticism over the last couple of years of like stat padding, even during that time. But I'm just like, when I was watching Russ in 2017, I wasn't, obviously I was aware of the turnovers, the field goal percentage and all the statistics. But I was like, yo, this is a motherfucking dog. Like, he is dominating every single game. And people just want to overthink it when it comes to that.
Facts. 2022 is inefficient. 2017, I was like, shit. Brody. Like, fuck it.
So in today's video, we're going to see if that's true, because personally, I have a hard time believing that it is. Now, in terms of finding out how efficient a player is in the NBA, there are a handful of ways of doing so. For one, there's an actual stat called efficiency, or you can look at one's PER, which stands for player efficiency rating. However, most people are not aware of these statistics, and even the people who are aware of them really don't even know how to properly calculate them to make an assessment on a player. But if you are someone who claims that Kobe Bryant is inefficient,
I like how Low be cocky with it too.
I then would ask you.
Yeah, essentially all he said was, you don't even know like what you're dumb. Essentially,
like, you sort it, you understand what the stat does, and you hit the little arrow on reference. You don't know how to use that. You don't even know what it means for real. You just want to sound smart, and you're dumb and crazy.
I got the actual equation on the screen right now. This is what PER is. All right, this is the calculation. And the fact that people can just go on Basketball Reference, like Sage said, and just click an arrow, bloop. Oh, he has number one. Oh, he's definitely the most efficient player in the league.
Gotta be. Like, I don't talk about PER because Souls put the equation up. I don't know the fucking equation. I know true shooting. I talk about true shooting percentage. I don't know Raptor. But y'all talk about Raptor, Vorp, LeBron, true shooting even, which isn't that fucking complicated. And you'll bring it up and have no idea what it means. It's sad.
This is it right here.
Hey, 2/3 of assists, okay.
This whole thing.
Yeah. Not a stat for Sage. not a stat for Sage. I can understand it if I really had to sit here and that motherfucker, but yeah, this ain't for me. The reason it ain't for me, if it factors so many things, I feel like it can be inconsistent, and that's why a lot of people swayed away from it. You know what I'm saying? It used to be the main name of the game when Kellerman was saying it, and then people fell off. Wonder why.
Now, mind you, I'm looking at it right here, and there's sub calculations within this calculation. Like VOP has its own calculation.
Yeah,
and the fact
VOP,
that people just ESPN Jokic is #1 in PER. What, you know what I'm saying? Like, you dead ass, by all definitions of the word, do not know what you're talking about. You don't.
Yeah, and then people will look at what I just did and think it's weakness. Bro, you don't know. I don't know. It's okay. It's okay, bro. I'm still gonna talk about basketball.
Unless you're Ben Taylor. Let's move on.
You then claim that players such as Klay Thompson, Reggie Miller, or Ray Allen were inefficient because all three of those players have a lower PER than Kobe Bryant, which more than likely, no, you would not. And the biggest reason why is because when people are critiquing Kobe Bryant's efficiency, they are referencing how efficiently does he put the ball in the basket. And the reason why I'm confident to coming to this conclusion is because when many people are making this assessment on Kobe, they then pivot to facts about Kobe Bryant's field goal percentage or also highlighting how he has the most misses in NBA history, which is factually correct. However, and I cannot believe I have to say this in 2021, but it still blows my mind how many experts still make this mistake to this day, but field goal percentage does not calculate efficiency. Now, why is that? Well, simply put, because the definition of being efficient means achieving maximum productivity with minimum wasted effort or expense. In basketball terms, that basically means
I made that mistake before. Like, you know what I'm saying? I'd give up the field goal percentage, 3-point percentage, free throw percentage. Yeah, you know, I've done it before.
Oh yeah, we all guilty. I'm definitely guilty. Like Sage on the come up, definitely was team field goal percentage, 3-point percentage, moved on with my life. Nowadays, if I'm having a serious debate, like if I'm not arguing with my pops, group chat, if I'm on the internet, because y'all make basketball unfun, then I'm like, all right, bro, true shooting, effective field goal, all the other bullshit. But like, nah, by definition, Lowe's absolutely right. This isn't even him trying to be a contrarian of some sort. No, like, it's just not what efficiency means.
Minimizing the amount of points that you score with minimum amount of attempts shooting the basketball. And because of that simple definition alone, field goal percentage literally cannot equate to efficiency because the only thing that field goal percentage equates to is accuracy. Let's say you have player A and player B. Player A shot 5 for 10 from the field, all of which were 2-pointers, so that means that they scored 10 points with a field goal percentage of 50%. However, player B shot 4 for 9 from the field, which means that they have a field goal percentage of 44%, but since all of the shots that they made were 3-pointers, they were able to score 12 points. Now, even though player B had a lower field goal percentage, they still are more efficient than player A because they were able to score 12 points on 9 shot attempts, while player B was only...
You know what's crazy about this graphic right here? Like, it's so easy to just go on NBA.com and look at the box score and see the difference between 44 and 50 and say that one had a crazy more efficient game just because he, like, shot 50 instead of 44. Like, this is how, you know, field goal percentage is misleading.
One shot. I'm glad Soul said it. One shot will take you from fucking 50 to 44. That's the definition of a good game to a bad game for a lot of you, especially for those that play 2K, because you shot below 50 is very fucking weird. That being said, bro, wasn't there a year where like a Curry 3 in the left corner was more efficient than a Braun dunk or some shit? Wasn't there some crazy stat like that? I don't know. Fact check me if I'm right, or wrong, but damn.
Able to produce 10 points on 10 shot attempts. So again, scoring more points on fewer attempts, thus making that player more efficient. So now you may be wondering, how exactly do we calculate efficiency if field goal percentage is unable to do so? Well, the best way to do so is to look at one's true shooting percentage. And the reason why is because true shooting percentage takes into consideration that 3s are more valuable than 2s, as well as looking at one's production at the free throw line. And the reason why it is important to make sure we take into consideration free throws is because 20 to 30% of the points that volume scorers record come from the free throw line. Now, for the people out there who are concerned about the legitimacy of true shooting percentage, especially when you're trying to figure out the true efficiency of big men who did not shoot 3s or also were horrible at free throw shooting, trust me when I say please don't be too concerned, because when you look at the numbers, you'll clearly see those players are still very efficient scorers. But what is a legitimate concern is determining what is the standard of efficiency. Because comparing Kobe Bryant to today's era of basketball, quite honestly, just wouldn't do him any justice, this mainly because how much the game of basketball has changed since he's played a full season in the NBA. And so to make sure we eliminate all of those factors, we're only going to be comparing Kobe Bryant to his peers, players who played within the years 2000 to 2013 and played at least 500 games, and players who averaged at least 19 points or more. Not only does this remove all variables that will be out of Kobe Bryant's control, while also excluding the tail end of certain players' careers like Karl Malone or the first couple of years of other players' careers like Damian Lillard. So, with those parameters set, what exactly is the standard of efficiency between the years of 2000 and 2013, or better known as the league average true shooting percentage? And that number is 53%. So, that's the magic number, and here is the graph. On the x-axis, we have the points per game average, and on the y-axis, we have the true shooting percentages. Again, 53% is the league average throughout this 14-year span, so that line will be bolded. And now, all the dots on the screen represent all of the volume scores throughout this time frame. Now, of course, on the screen, we have some familiar faces. All the way up here, we have Ray Allen, who was easily the most efficient perimeter-oriented player within this time frame. And right above him, we have both Amari Stoudemire and Shaquille O'Neal. So, for you out there who were concerned about how true shooting percentage affects big men, well, both players not only did not shoot any threes, but Shaq is historically one of the worst free throw shooters in NBA history, and yet both of them have the highest true shooting percentages. Now, below league average, you have players such as Monte Ellis and Antoine Jamison. However, what really threw me by surprise was Tracy McGrady. However, when you take into consideration that McGrady was dealing with a lot of injuries, as well as him being a subpar free throw shooter, then I guess a true shooting percentage.
No cap. Who had a 50% true shooting percentage? What the hell? And you didn't even have the volume. Like, what the fuck were you doing? That's a real shot chucker right there. No cap.
Nah, man. Bro suck. I don't know what to tell you. Well, I should be a Hall of Famer. Fuck.
52% somewhat makes sense. But we're not here for that, because we got to figure out where exactly is Kobe Bryant. Now, if you are someone who believes that Kobe was inefficient, then you probably believe that this dot here belongs to him, as not only is it someone below league average in true shooting, but also has a high volume in terms of his scoring prowess. However, you would be wrong. That dot doesn't belong to Kobe Bryant. That's actually Allen Iverson, who had a true shooting percentage of 51.8, which means that this dot here belongs to Kobe Bryant, who averaged 27.8 points per game in this time frame with a true shooting percentage of 55.6%, which makes his true shooting percentage above league average. But more importantly, this does mean that Kobe Bryant is indeed an efficient volume scorer. Now, with that myth being debunked, and while I have your attention, there are a few other things that I want to just tackle just briefly. A, it is amazing to me that Kobe, who again has a true shooting percentage of 55.6, still consistently gets hit with the label of inefficient, but you have a player like D Wade, who has a true shooting percentage of 56.7%, or even LeBron, who had a true shooting percentage of 57.5% during his time frame, and yet no one claims that they are quote-unquote inefficient, despite the fact that their level of efficiency is relatively similar to Kobe's. But hey, I guess technically speaking, they're higher, so you might be able to make the argument, but what about KG or Tim Duncan? Both players have a true shooting percentage that is lower than Kobe's, and again, no one doesn't claim that they are inefficient ball players.
I'll ask you this, Sage, do you think KG and Tim Duncan are volume scorers?
That would be my only thing, if they're technically volume scorers. Now, based off the criteria you said, they clearly qualify, but yeah, that'd be the only counter thing, that they're not volume scorers, or at least perceived not to be. KG, you might have an argument, dead ass. Tim, how many shots was Tim taking a night? Because Tim, he was always sneaky with it. Tim was always sneaky with it. How many shots was Tim taking? That'd be my determinant type shit.
I'd say about the same as KG. I don't think they were ever like crazy off from each other.
I would say, shit, gun to my head, they're not depicted that way because they're not guards. They don't tween hezzy. They don't dominate the ball as much. Maybe statistically, but at least visually, they don't dominate the ball as much. So I guess that would be the reason, but I could just be dead wrong and spouting some bullshit. Because, I ain't gonna lie. I watched Tim Duncan. I ain't watched too much KG. I had to go back for that one because I had to see why niggas was telling me that prime KG was him. I was like, okay, hold on. Let me see something real quick. Bro, badass. I ain't gonna lie. He's like that. I don't think he's still in my top 8, though.
So because of this, I dug a little deeper because there had to be some inkling of proof that Kobe Bryant was inefficient at scoring the basketball. I looked back on a year-to-year basis throughout the years 2000 and 2013, and no, still could not find a single year where Kobe Bryant had a true shooting that was below league average. Matter of fact, he has some seasons where his true shooting percentage is 3 to 4% higher than league average. Actually, the year in which he led the NBA averaging 31 points per game, he had a true shooting percentage of 58%.
Y'all don't know how hard it is to make graphs like this. I ain't gonna lie, graphics like this. I have a certain level of appreciation for a graphic like this, you know what I'm saying? As a graphic artist myself. Shout out to this graphic, bruh. This takes like 2 hours to make for me.
Zoes took a fucking class. He loves this shit. He took a fucking class. He loved this shit, man. Hey, I never, ever, even when I was doing this.
I would deadass make like a graphic for, I don't know, like 2 hours, and it would only be like a minute of the video, if that. And they'd still roast me in the comment section. And that's why we're doing reactions now. No cap.
Yeah, you're actually, you guys are doing lazy content now. Good for you. It's easier. Fuck you.
Which is mind-blowing and should be even further proof that Kobe Bryant is not inefficient at all, but yet I kept digging. I then went to the playoff numbers and still no proof. Kobe Bryant's true shooting percentage just dipped by 1%. However, that is very common amongst many volume scores. But even with a 1% drop in his true shooting percentage, Kobe would still be above league average. Furthermore, when I dug even deeper into Kobe Bryant's playoff performances, I started to notice a very consistent pattern, and that is Kobe Bryant matched up against some of the most toughest defensive competition in league history. See, Kobe played in arguably the most defensive-oriented era in NBA history. Add on top of the fact that he played in the Western Conference, which was significantly tougher than the Eastern Conference, and it actually makes sense how consistently Kobe matched up against top 10 defenses in the NBA on a year-to-year basis. To put a number on it, again, between the years of 2000 and 2013, Kobe Bryant matched up against 36 teams in the playoffs. Out of those 36 teams, 28 of them had a top 10 defense or better, which means that over 75% of the time, Kobe was matching up against one of the top 10 defensive units in the NBA.
The weak East?
Why?
The weak East?
Man.
We didn't forget. We didn't forget about the weak East, man. That weak ass Eastern Con. Stop, bro. Stop.
He went through Vic.
We didn't forget about it, bro. Come on, bro. Isaiah Thomas has the 1 seed. Come on, bro. Come on, little bro.
You're a Celtic. He's weird. He's so weird. This man is a Celtic.
Come on, bro. Your best competition was DeMar DeRozan saying LeBron's better than me. Like, come on, bro. Come on, bro.
Shut up. I don't even want to talk to him. Shut up. Just hit the dislike button. It's okay. You want to leave the video? Fuck retention. He doesn't deserve it. Get us out of here. Get us out of here.
Make things even more interesting, there was only one time in Kobe's entire postseason career where he had the privilege to match up against a team that had a bottom 10 defense. This matchup occurred in the 2010 Western Conference Finals, where the Lakers went up against a Phoenix Suns team that had the 23rd ranked defense in the NBA that season, and by the end of the series, you could argue Kobe had the best series of his entire career, averaging nearly 34 points, 7 rebounds, 8 assists, and with a true shooting percentage of nearly 64%, which was roughly 12% higher than league average that season.
Nuts.
Now, what exactly does all this mean? Well, let me put some numbers on it so you can get a better understanding of how impressive all of this is. During the years of 2000 and 2013, the league average defensive rating is 105.6. However, Kobe Bryant's competition in the playoffs on average had a defensive rating of 102.4. And remember, with defensive rating, the lower the number, the better, which means that Kobe Bryant's defensive competition in the playoffs had a defensive rating differential of negative 3.1. To put that into context, if we did the exact same thing for Michael Jordan, the league average throughout his years in the playoffs was 107.5, with his competition having a defensive rating of 105.3, which means that the defensive differential would be less than Kobe's. And if we did the exact same thing with LeBron, again, the defensive differential is not on par with Kobe Bryant's competition, meaning that Kobe Bryant had to match up against tougher defensive competition throughout his playoff career. So the fact that Kobe's shooting efficiency only dropped by 1%, despite the fact that he matched up against all-time great defensive units throughout his postseason career, is even more mind-blowing and should further dispel any narrative that Kobe Bryant was quote-unquote inefficient. So
the weirdest argument about efficiency that I always hear is like, you know, we'd see this crazy performance, right? KD had a 50-point game, and then Twitter would go, on 40 shots? On 40 shots? How do you expect someone to score 50 points? They're not gonna do it in 20. I'm sorry to tell you, unless it's James Harden, because that motherfucker just gets to the line every fucking possession anyways. Unless you're James Harden, that's not gonna be the case. There's gonna be a lot of shots being thrown up. Let's not even talk about true shooting percentage. People don't even look at, like in these cases, they don't even look at field goal percentage. They're like, oh my God, 50 on 40 shots, you can clearly see it's 47. And then that, again, that's not even, I'm not saying field goal percentage is efficiency, but that's like the worst argument I annually see on Twitter. How many shots? Shut up, bro. Shut up. Look at the true shooting percentage. At the very least, at that point, look at the field goal percentage. At the very least.
It's so annoying. One of my IRLs that I hinted to earlier, he does that shit all the time. And I'm like, bro, I love you like a brother. Stop saying that shit. Stop saying that shit, bro. He dropped 30 on 30 shots. He was 15 to 30. He was 15 to 30, bro. Like, I don't know. I don't know what you want him to do. He can't shoot the ball. He cannot shoot the ball that far. He's 15 to 30. He's 15 to 25 or whatever. It's literally percentages you approve of. God forbid it's below 40 in field goal percentage, but it's like above 60 in 3-point percentage. Oh, he had a bad game regardless. He shot well from 3 though. Hate it here, bro.
You would believe that I would be content in the concept of debunking this whole Kobe Bryant is inefficient narrative. But I'm just not. There has to be some way that people are looking at this through a lens of Kobe Bryant being inefficient. So let's just remove all variables and blindly compare Kobe Bryant's true shooting percentage between the years 2000 and 2013, which again is 55.6%, to today's era of basketball. I looked over several years over the course of the past decade, and honestly, only came up with 3 years where Kobe Bryant's true shooting percentage would be below league average. Those 3 years are 2019, 2020, and the 2021 season. But that's literally it. So even if you are someone who wouldn't use relative true shooting percentage and just ignorantly compare Kobe Bryant across league history just willy-nilly, there's only 3 years in which you could claim that Kobe Bryant was an inefficient volume scorer. But if you do that, you're dumb. You are literally stripping away several layers of context that is needed for this complex conversation.
I'm gonna be honest, I think the only reason why Kobe even is considered inefficient is literally just because of the names that he's compared to. Like throughout his whole career, it's always been Kobe and Shaq. And Shaq is literally like arguably the most efficient scorer ever. And then if it's not Shaq, it's MJ and LeBron. Again, some of the most efficient volume scorers ever. And then recently it's been Steph Curry. Again, another person that's one of the most efficient volume scorers ever. But if you don't compare him to those 4 guys, every single other player, the efficiency is there. That's literally the only reason why there's even this narrative that Kobe's inefficient. It's just in comparison to the players he's in conversations with.
Tell you the truth, it's because of 2 things that both Lo mentioned. One, the fact that, hey, bro, he's missed the most shots of all time. Kids running with that. It's stupid, but it's the world we live in. 2, and what I picked up that Lo didn't really talk about specifically, though, is he mentioned it was 2019, 2020, and 2021. But this consecutive years. So people naturally are seeing basketball players become more efficient when in reality we know what's up. But they're seeing that efficiency stat raise and raise and raise, or rise and rise and rise. I dropped out. I did. But either way, they're seeing that shit, and as a result, they're like, oh wow, I guess that Kobe guy was really overrated. Fucking Trey Young can do it better. Fucking, and I don't even know that's necessarily true. I'm just naming a player. It's Hode, indeed. But what can you do about people being stupid? So I agree. You're dumb. I feel like a lot of the disrespect come from the fact, God rest his soul, that he passed. I've said this before. Obviously, I wasn't on YouTube. But people had this thing where they were afraid of him being overrated because he passed. And as a result, started getting on dick. So it's sad, but that could be another reason too.
If you like this video, go ahead and watch this video right here. And we'll catch you on the next one, man. Peace out.
Peace.